So
What do
I
you got?
have some superlatives this week. You all know if you've been listening every week that I'm very interested in law, and this might be a little dry, so I'll try to pop through this so it's not totally a snore fest. But I think it's actually going to be like it's like novel worthy stuff here. So okay, so first one is Gruden 1, NFL 0. So you may not appreciate John Gruden for some of the things he's done, and I agree with you on that. However, he was wronged in from a legal standpoint. So the judge ruled against the NFL for John Gruden, who was of course the Las Vegas Raiders coach, who was asked to leave abruptly last season in the middle of the season. And so they are setting up for trial. And of course, the NFL wanted to dismiss and arbitrate and all those things, and they lost both motions. There's no nothing in the contract that requires them to arbitrate and keep it all silent, keep it all quiet. So this is an interesting plot. I've talked about it before. It's intriguing, and the reason it's especially intriguing, not just on its own, but because it ties into some of these other things that are going on, such as with Snyder and the Washington Commanders. These it's like a house of cards that are hopefully going to come down in a good way so that there's more transparency into what's happening behind the scenes in the NFL. That should be more transparent. So Gruden is contending to prove that the National Football League leaked emails, which is what led to his being asked to leave, and that it was a conspiracy. That's so cool. I just think that's really interesting, and it seems like it's the case. I've been reading a lot about this. So many think this was done by the NFL to shine the spotlight away from the larger issues regarding sexual assault and other things that were going on at the NFL and with the Washington team commanders, both, which are also separate. So there are many lawsuits that are kind of, that's why I say it's a house of cards. It's not just one or two. So it's a complicated, hot mess. It's a soap opera. It's a soap opera. So I'm interested. I'm all for that. But it's what the NFL wants so that the general public, would look away from what was really going on. So let's all crucify John Gruden. Okay, fine. But let's not stop there because that was just kind of done to take the spotlight off of what was already being alleged and hidden and swept under the rug. So meanwhile, the House Committee on Oversight on Oversight and Reform has announced that it will finally hold a hearing on June 22nd. I'm not holding my breath on anything happening there, but it's a step, and the community has requested personal testimony from Goodell and Snyder. So, so they're trying to get out of it, but we'll see. We'll see. So also, meanwhile, all of a sudden, and it's been kept really quiet, the Raiders president, Dan Ventrell, has quietly and somewhat mysteriously left the team. So the Raiders is
Interesting.
like, yeah, that would be like Mark Murphy, just, well, where'd he go? So that's kind of weird because he's probably got some information about how this all went down. So it's pretty fantastical in a way. It's like you can't make this stuff up. Kind of worried about our Devontae Adams, who kind of joined an organization that's embroiled in all this stuff. But it's nothing about the players; it's the management and all that. But still, the organization. It makes me appreciate having hopefully a clean organization,
Right.
above the board. But hopefully they'll get it all straightened out, and maybe they'll get all of it out in the open, which is what I want is just some transparency. So the NFL is in multiple legal messes, and this is aside from Deshaun Watson and all that other stuff. So there's just
Wow.
so much legally going on. And so as I looked into this, I did come upon a new podcast that I wasn't aware of, and it's a sports law podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's called Conduct Detrimental, which is a legal expression. Conductdetrimental.com. And the links, of course, to everything that we discussed today will be in our description. But so Dan Wallach, who's an attorney and who has that podcast with some other attorneys, put together an argument already advanced by the league in defending itself against the John Gruden lawsuit, and how it could undermine some of the defenses the league plans to make in the Brian Flores case.
Wow.
Right? Okay. So it was a lot for me to write this all down. Like, wow. But
Dang.